Hey y'all, this is going to be interesting. I'm actually following Waze directions while I'm doing this, so I hope that you can't hear my little Waze lady telling me where to turn. So number one, we're going to talk like 1 minute about CBD today, but number two is I have an overwhelming sense of needing to encourage people today, and I have two stories to tell you. Number one, it's
in a quarter of a mile.
I'm a little bit like I'm a pretty good hermit, but I'm starting to get a little twitchy, being in the house for going on 5 weeks and not having my regular schedule. I like things scheduled, but two stories about perspective. Number one, I don't know where I was, but I was out with 3 children under the age of 5.
Turn right on Knoll Avenue.
And I had an older woman walk up to me. She could probably clearly tell that I was completely disheveled. And she looked at me very sweetly and she said, "I bet you worry about how dirty your house is." And I said, "Oh my gosh, all the time." And I wasn't quite getting her point at that point. And she looked at me and she said, "Honey," she said, my house
Turn left on Shawnee.
is spotless, and it's so quiet that you could hear a pin drop." And I think about that woman all the time, who I don't know. She was an angel, because I do worry about my house being dirty. Like, I worry about it right now because everyone is at home and on top of each other, and my dogs are in the way, and the kids leave their food out and their trash out and their drinks out, and I start going crazy. And I just think, you know what, these are the times. It's all about perspective, that there's going to be a day when I wish that my kids' trash was around, because I wish my kids were around. So when you're thinking about being at home, just think about perspective. And my other point that I kind of had to laugh out loud this morning, when I was so sick and in the hospital, it's going on 5 years, I remember looking at my mom and saying, I would give
in 2.3 miles.
to be at home,
stay to the left,
so I would love to
south.
clean a house. I would love to be home. I was stuck in the hospital for 6 weeks. I couldn't leave, and I just wanted to be on my couch. That's all I wanted. At that point in time, I just wanted to be on my couch. And now I'm on my couch and I'm thinking, oh, I just want to be able to go X. But you know what? At one point in my life, being on my couch was my dream, was to be home with my family and just to be sitting at home. So it's all about perspective, and having faced a little life and death experience, that the little things don't bother me anymore. And I always, when I start getting a little frazzled, I try to remind myself that, you know what, I'm living the life. I'm on my couch. This is all I wanted when I was in the hospital, was just to be right here. So motivation. So the one thing we're going to talk about CBD today is just about how to take it. And I forget to tell people this, because I made this mistake with my mom that I assume that you know, but this is a tincture, and this tincture has a dropper in it. And in the dropper, it says, we have marks on our dropper. It says a quarter, a half, and then 75, and then 1. And you can measure the way you take your drops by using those lines. And what you do, and I'll do it right now because I haven't taken mine today, but I've got a half a dropper. I put it under my tongue. I've gotten really good at talking with oil under my tongue lately. And you want it to sit under your tongue for 60 to 90 seconds. But the longer you let it sit, the better. So I'm going to go ahead and swallow for your sake. But I always do that. I do a dropper at night when I get into bed and I'm ready to go, and I put it under my tongue. And half the time I forget that it's there, because I start watching TV or whatever. And the longer that it sits under your tongue, that's the best access to your body, because it's absorbed directly into the bloodstream. The quicker and better effects you're going to have. Whereas if you swallow it, like I just did, I didn't leave it there for long, it becomes a part of the digestive process. And when it becomes a part of the digestive process, as you can imagine, it's a little bit more diluted, and you're not getting that fast absorption into your bloodstream. So if you take it and you swallow it, you're going to have to take a larger amount of the product, because it's going to be diluted as it goes down. So the other point I would like to make, that I've mentioned before, which I thought was kind of funny and my own fault, is I have trained my parents so well to do what I tell them to do, that when I gave my mom the oil, she had some arthritis in her hand, and she called me the next day, and I love to make fun of her accent. She's from West Texas, and she said, "Penny, it's healed. My hand is healed." And I said, oh, did you like the taste? And she said, what do you mean? I didn't taste it. And she said, I just put the oil directly on my thumb. Well, with essential oils, that's what I had taught her to do. And it's important to know that CBD is an essential oil. It's the essential oil of the hemp plant. That's why we have topical creams. That's why we have our reduce cream that's FDA approved for pain, because it works by going across the skin. Because essential oils, their molecules are so tiny that they can cross through our body
In 1,000 feet.
versus
Then turn left.
all let's say like canola oil. Their molecules are kind of big fat blobs, so they can't cross through into all of our cells like essential oils can. So CBD is an essential oil of the hemp plant, and it can cross through.
Stay
into
to the
our whole
left.
body,
Then turn left to.
rather quickly. So it's okay. If I had an extreme pain, and I did this with my son when he first broke his finger,
Turn left to
I put
I-35.
oil directly on the issue, because that CBD oil is going to go directly into whatever that crisis moment is and heal what needs to be healed. So I want to encourage you in real life about perspective. This is getting crazy. It's a little bit surreal, but keep perspective that
In 2.2 miles, exit to exit 220.
US 69
And,
south of Overland Parkway.
Sorry, I'm listening to my ways. Staying at home and your messy house, you know what? Someday you're going to be wishing that you had a mess in your house. That one always makes me weep a little bit. But then the important part about CBD, you put it under your tongue, you let it sit there for 60 to 90 seconds. You can get really good at talking with oil under your tongue, but let it sit there as long as possible, because the longer it sits there, the better. So, short and sweet today. Hope everybody's doing well, staying safe. Talk to you soon. Bye.